Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Günaydın. Kolay gelsin. For Turkish guys. Welcome to MikroTik Mom. As you may know, this is the second Mom in Istanbul, and we expected more attendance to compare with last year. In this presentation, actually, I want to talk about two different parts. It has two different parts. First, I want to have a statistics about the 5 years training in our company, about my training, and then I'm going to talk about technically about RoMON, which is the new feature of MikroTik. My name is Mani Raissdana. I'm MITSCO CTO and the co-founder. I'm MikroTik certified trainer since 2010. Nowadays, Ubiquiti trainer and Elastic certified trainer as well. Actually, I'm being in this business for around 12 years, 14 years, 13 years, these kind of things, if you remove military service from that. And supporting and instructing engineers for something like 5 years in MikroTik platform and Ubiquiti and Elastics as well. My specialization, my expertise, first, wireless. I call myself wireless engineer more than anything else because it's my first specialization. But actually routing as well, QoS, firewall, and the DUDE, which is the MikroTik monitoring server. If you want to find everything about me, actually with these links you can find everything about my life. All of these links give you all the information about the past years, about everything, and the resumes and everything else. I'm going to share these slides with you even now, today, or MikroTik is going to upload it in their YouTube channel. By the way, if you send me an email anytime, I can give you as well. These are my training sessions, roughly all over the world, from Southeast Asia, from Philippines to Africa to Istanbul, Europe, everywhere. Now I can see some of my friends, some of my trainees all over here. So it's a special good morning to everybody and them as well. If you want to check out our schedule, by these links, actually the first 3 ones are in their own official website, and the last 3 ones in our own website. You can check out all the schedules for training and for everything else. As I said before, in this presentation, first I want to talk about 5 years statistics of ourselves. Actually, because MikroTik hasn't updated the training update for last 2 years, and I got an idea about so I can have my own statistics. This is for our company for the last 5 years, just in MikroTik platform. Actually, we have some other courses, some other trainings in Ubiquiti, in Elastics, and something else. But these statistics is just about MikroTik classes. And then at the end, in the second part, I'm going to talk about a new feature of the MikroTik, which is RoMON. Robust feature if you want to stay in touch with your network remotely from outside. It's a nice feature as well. First, statistics. In past 5 years, in Asia, just only in Asia, I had a training session in these countries, from Philippines, all over Asia, then Indonesia, Lebanon, India, Nepal, Thailand, some other places. And also in Africa, we have training sessions in some other countries. Nowadays, mostly in West Africa because of the diseases, because of Ebolas, because of NGOs who are active in there. And now we are going to have some training sessions in East Africa. And also, I forgot, I had just one student from US, right here in Istanbul, last year. He's going to join us, I think, after the lunch. But yeah, I have just one from that part of the world. And from Europe, I think something like 50% of Europe, I had a student from there. In past 5 years, we had 190 sessions, and we had 638 students, and you can see each course, I mean it's per course, something like 573 of them actually passed in this course. 51 failed. I had 51 failed. 13 of them, actually they didn't have an exam because of some issues. And in all of these 600 exams, I had one cheating. In last 5 years, I just had one cheating, and also it was in Istanbul. So you can find the portions of each sessions. These are the host countries which I had the training sessions in their country. It's a mixture, Africa, Asia, and Europe. So we had experience about running training sessions in these countries. And in this table you can find each courses per each country. Actually, to be honest, this is the first and I think it's the last accurate statistics in my life ever. Because actually I didn't buy my own alone. My wife, my colleagues, everybody works on that. So it's not only my statistics, everybody works on that, and this is the most accurate. You really can trust that. And per continent, Africa, Asia, and Europe, 25 sessions in Africa, 118 in Asia, because it's I think it's the biggest continent and a lot of new engineers. And also because of infrastructure in Asia, they need more education, they need more training as well. In Europe, 47th, most of them were here in Turkey and few of them in Georgia. This table is per years. You can find our sessions per each year. As you can see, each year we have had more sessions because new people meet MikroTik, meet new features of the MikroTik. They're gonna interested to work with it. So in last year, into 2015, I had a lot of new students. They have started from the basic one, which is MTCNA course, and I think in next couple of months, especially here in Istanbul, here in Turkey, because they're gonna know the MikroTik as well. I think we will have a better MikroTik business. 523 of the whole of those exams, they passed in the first chance, because as you may know, we have the second chance as well for the exam. If you can get score more than 50%, but it's not enough to pass the course, to pass the exam, then I can give you the second chance. So 50 of them passed in the second chance. 41 and 10 of them have failed. 10 of those second chance failed actually in the second chance. So it means they had 2 exams in a row in one day, but they couldn't pass. Only 10 in 638, I think it's something less than 5%. And these are my average scores per each sessions. You can check out everything. This is my 5th presentation. I had presentation in Istanbul once last year, in India, in Philippines, and one in Morocco. And this is my 5th. And actually, we had a project in these countries. Okay, that's enough. Let's get back to class and have something technically. The second part of the presentation, which is, I think, it's the most important part to compare with the first part. It's about the RoMON, new feature of the MikroTik. Actually, RoMON means router management overlay network. Router management overlay network. It's some kind of a way that can give you the layer 2 connectivity, layer 2 discovery from the outside, out of your network. So you remotely can get in, can work with all of your routers. Just assume that inside of your network you have something like 20, 30 routers, and if you want to access all of them from the out, somewhere in the internet, you need to have a lot of destination NATs, you need to add some rules, or you need to have a public addresses per each of those routers. But with this feature, from outside, somewhere in the internet, you just need to have an internet, you easily can get in to your network. This feature, because it's layer 2, it's based on a layer 2, it can pass all kind of firewalls, layer 3 firewalls, and also it's NAT traversal. So you no more need to worry about the NAT, adding a route, everything. It's going to be a layer 2 discovery network based on your layer 2 or layer 3 network, whatever you have. Winbox and SSH are available for configuration. I mean, from remote side, you can use Winbox, you can use SSH if you want to configure your router. And for diagnostic, actually, ping has updated to be compatible with RoMON. With the ping, easily you can have a ping and find out the way to your router. But don't forget, this RoMON is MikroTik proprietary. It's actually RoMON is the standard protocol. Maybe you can find it in some other platforms, but here MikroTik has optimized it just for himself, just for their devices. So it's not going to work with any other platforms. This is just for MikroTik devices. And MikroTik platforms, maybe you have router OS without router board. You have it, x86 version. It's already compatible with all kind of router OS versions. If you check out the change logs, I think MikroTik engineers know that this is the most important part of the MikroTik, because MikroTik has update at least, once a week or once in 2 weeks. So it's very important to check out new features. Already they have fixed a lot of bugs per each new versions. But you need to be careful. You need to check the change log. Sometimes you're going to update your router and it's not going to come up again. It means it had some bugs in some of the parts of the router OS, and you didn't check out the check log. So change logs actually are very important. If you check out the change logs, MikroTik has added a RoMON feature since router OS version 6.28. It was the first version that had RoMON support. And then in next 2 versions, they have fixed some bugs, and actually they added Winbox support. They moved the command from the main menu to the tools. Now, if you want to find out the RoMON, first you need to upgrade your router to something more than 6.28. And then in tools menu, you can find out a RoMON. RoMON actually works based on RoMON ID, which is it grabs from your MAC addresses, one of the interfaces in RoMON network. It grabs from the MAC addresses, but you can provide your own ID if you like, but it should be MAC-based, MAC-like, same like a MAC address. After you enable the RoMON, we will check out the configuration. I had all the screenshots as well. You need to configure interfaces, those interfaces which you like to add in RoMON network. Assume that some like a network. I was thinking about a network, for example, for the ISP, service provider. Actually, this service provider has 3 levels of routers. First, edge router, firewall router, and access router. Most of the providers prefer to have 3 levels of routers because of the security, because of the access, and then they split their loads of the routers in 3 different. And each of them is responsible for their own configuration. So 3 levels of routers. And then, for example, it's a WISP. They provided a service to their users by wireless. Then you can have tons of CPE. It's depend on their network. You can have any kind of CPEs as well. I mean, CPE means the router in client side. And each of those clients, if they are official network or even if they are the home user, they need to have such a routers, MikroTik routers or anything else. But if they have a MikroTik routers inside to make a NAT, to make everything else, actually you can get in and you can connect to that router from the remote side as well. So you can get in deep to your network. It's per hops. I mean, it can travel each routers per hops. Then in a discovery table, you can find the path as well. This was the lab, which actually I've tested these versions, these features in the last version. And I saved all the configuration of these routers. I saved everything. I exported everything, all the configuration. If you want to check out the same scenarios, if you want to see the same scenarios, you can download all the backups, all the export files as well. Not the backup files, they are all export files. Actually, you can edit it for yourself. So you can have the same scenario and you can feel the advantages, consequences by yourself. First, as I told you before, you need to enable RoMON service. From Tools menu, you easily can enable it. As soon as you check that button and check that enable option, then click apply. It's gonna add one ID which grabs from one of the MAC addresses inside the network, but you can provide your own ID if you like. And as you can see in here, you can have a secret. Security-wise, for example, in your RoMON network, you can add the password, add a secret, something like a passphrase. So nobody without this passphrase can connect to your RoMON network. And you can have multiple secrets per all of your interfaces. You can add multiple secrets, and all of them gonna work at the same time. So no worries. Per different interfaces, you can have different secrets as well. Then after enabling the RoMON service, you need to add interfaces inside the RoMON network. As you can see in here, not only in this table, everywhere in MikroTik, when you've seen this hashtag, it means the rules are ordered in this table. It means the sequence of the rules is important actually to activate the rule as well. Because router is going to check each rules one by one from the top to bottom. So sequence of the rules is very important in this way. In this example, as you can see, the Ethernet one, forbidden, yes or no. Forbidden means if you want to add it in your network or not. If you don't like to add it, you can just forbidden it. You can check forbidden. It's not going to be a part of your RoMON network. But if you want to add it in your RoMON network, you need to leave this forbidden unchecked. So same as a firewall, you can add some rules. For example, some of your interfaces to, for example, upstreams, you can disable the RoMON service, and in your local network, you easily can enable. Also, let's get back to this diagram. This laptop from the remote site, somewhere in the internet, first need to have a tunnel to the agent. The edge router could be this one, could be this one. It depends on your scenario. But first, you need to get into the agent. Then from the agent, you can access everything behind the agent. So no worries about the NAT, no worries about the firewall. You just need to get into agent, and then after agent, you can check each hops one by one. In ports configuration, although we have another secrets, as you can see in here, there is another secrets in here. This is the first one. When you enable the RoMON service itself, you have secrets, and also per each interfaces you're gonna have secrets, and if you change the secrets in here, it's gonna override to the main one. So you can have a general secrets for everybody, and per each of your users, just in case, you can have separate secret. So you can override in the general one. RoMON has its own discovery interface. In this discovery interface, you can find out the identities of your router as well. All of these routers were inside, for example, ISP Edge, ISP Firewall, ISP Access, then ISP AP and ISP CP, 2 wireless routers. And the deep last hop, which is the client core. As you can see in the diagram, you see, first ISP Edge, then Firewall, then Access, then ISP AP, then CPEs. Actually, you can get in also to the last hop, which is the customer side, customer router. And when you discover the network, it shows what is the path as well. For example, as you can see, the core router, which is the deepest router in this scenario, it should passes all of these routers. So you can see this is the deepest router in the RoMON network, and it's gonna pass each hops one by one. And don't forget, this is layer 2 protocol. Everything is based on layer 2. Also, you can change the cost of each interface if one of those interfaces is much more important for you to be a part of the RoMON. You can change the costs. And you can find all the MAC addresses as well. If you download the Winbox version 3, something more than RC9, 11, 10, and nowadays it's a 16, you can have these RoMON features. For those Winbox versions before this 3.12, 3.9, you cannot find these features, so it's just added from this version. This is the place which you can make a tunnel to the agent. When you click connect to RoMON, it means you want to make a tunnel to the agent. RoMON here is the agent for you. Now in this scenario, I had 2 agents because I was working from the internet. This is the first router which I can see, the provider, which is the upstream of that provider, that ISP, and then ISP Edge. So these are 2 agents. I can use either of them. It depends on your configuration, but I can use either. When you click connect, now it's connected to the agent, and then after it's connected to the agent, you can see all the RoMON neighbors. These are the RoMON neighbors inside your network. But before connection, before making a tunnel to the agent, you cannot see these routers, RoMON enabled routers inside. So first you need to connect to the agent. As soon as you click connect to RoMON, it's gonna run the tunnel to the agent, and then after the agent, if you have some RoMON enabled router inside your network, you can see all of them in your discovery list. No more need to memorize those MAC addresses, because in last version, this router OS version is 6.32. This is the last, 32.2. If you download the last version, you also can see the identities. So no more need to memorize all these MAC addresses. And when you connect to each of these routers through your agent, as you can see in here, it says you're connected to this router via this agent. So also you can find out which agents you're connected to it now. And this Winbox is for which router. You easily can find your way in a RoMON network. Don't forget, you haven't added any NAT rules, you didn't block it in a firewall, nothing. Just enable the RoMON discovery and getting through. These are little tips about using the RoMON. Yeah, you know this is the new feature of the MikroTik. So any kind of suggestion, any kind of feature request, if you like, feel free to contact us, me or MikroTik themselves. For sure, we're going to use your suggestion in next features as well. Some tips and suggestions as a consequence of this technical part. This service is disabled by default. When you upgrade your router OS, this service is disabled by default because of security issues. If you like to use it, you need to enable it by yourself. So it's by default, it's disabled. Layer 2 low-level discovery protocol, you cannot block it by any layer 3 firewall. So if you're thinking about the security of this network, you need to isolate it with some other solutions, because you cannot drop this traffic in layer 3 firewall. Security-wise, do not enable it in your provider side. Do not enable it in the interface which connected to the provider side. Security-wise, it's depend on you. You can open it and leave it free in the internet. Easily, everybody can get in. If you want to use SSH to connect to you, any of those RoMON routers remotely, you need to have security package. RoMON itself is built in, by having the system package, which is the basic initial package for any kind of router OS. You have this feature, but if you want to use SSH, you need to have a security package as well. So it has two dependencies. By default, system, which is the default system package, and the security if you want to use SSH. If you don't want to use SSH, even without security package, you can use RoMON. This is the end. Any questions about my statistics, about RoMON? Actually, now it's not a presentation after the lunchtime. Osman has a presentation after the lunchtime, but I've seen everybody is sleepy here. No questions, nothing. Okay, these are my contact details. If you like to stay in touch with me, or if you have any kind of questions, you can find me by all of these links. Feel free to contact me by anything, by Facebook, by Skype. Actually, I'm always available in Skype, because when I'm in the class, I don't have a mobile phone. I cannot send the messages. But in the Skype, I'm always online and can check your messages. Which one what? Now, up to now, by this last version, it only can support Ethernet-like ports and wireless. Just Ethernet-like ports and wireless. VPNs are not added yet. Maybe in next versions, they're going to add VPNs and all other interfaces like EOIP, like GRE. It depends on MikroTik. I don't know about their plan, but up to now, it's only available for Ethernet-like network interfaces and wireless. Okay, for those who are not living in Istanbul, hope to see you back in Istanbul very soon. Thank you very much.